This month we have a lot of planets shifting into new signs of the zodiac, including the lovers, Venus and Mars. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the month of June 2024. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen, Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do the monthly energy forecast for June 2024. For this month's monthly reading, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians deck, and this is by Sophie Bashford. So before we get into looking at our stones of choice or the astrology or numerology energy for the month, let's go ahead and settle in and do an empowered moment. So if you close your eyes, relax your body, and clear your mind of all thoughts, focusing on your breathing and your breath as you breathe in and exhale out. Going through and making sure all of your muscles and tendons are relaxed, that you feel peaceful and calm, comfortable and serene. Breathing in and exhaling out, relaxing more and more with each breath. Visualizing, sensing, seeing, feeling, or just knowing that you're surrounded in golden white light of unconditional love, guidance, protection, and healing. See that golden white light in your mind's eye, bright and vibrant like the sun. Taking in a deep breath and breathing in that protective, guiding light into every cell of your body. As you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. Imagining a grounding cord coming out of your root chakra, going down deep through the layers of Earth Mother Gaia. Connecting with Earth Mother Gaia's heart chakra in the center of the earth. And Earth Mother Gaia's energy is nurturing and healing and supporting. And as your root chakra, as that grounding cord is connected to Earth Mother Gaia's crystalline heart chakra, I want you to breathe up and in through that grounding cord from Earth Mother Gaia's nurturing heart chakra, breathing in her supportive, healing light. Inhaling up, breathing that all the way up until it reaches your root chakra. And as you exhale, blowing that energy or imagining that energy moving through all of your chakras, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, ear chakras, third eye, and crown. Another deep breath, breathing in Earth Mother Gaia's elixir of light energy from the heart chakra. This time as you exhale, imagine that it's being dispersed throughout all of your energy bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And this month we're balancing the mental body energies and the emotional body energies. We have a lot of planetary energies in Gemini, air sign Gemini, that rules our thoughts, perceptions, ideas, all those mental functions. So much Gemini energy that life can feel a little overwhelming or anxious. We can feel like we have a lot of nervous energy, mind energy that we're not sure where to direct. Or it could bring in a lot of messages and communications and information, so much so that we just feel overwhelmed by all the potential and possibilities. And as we transition to the second half of the month, we start to slowly move into the Cancerian energies, water sign Cancer, which rules the emotional body, the emotions, the emotional realm. Our feelings, our intuitions, our subconscious and unconscious. And so it's truly a month needing to learn how to balance these energies. Balance the busyness of the mind with the peacefulness of the heart. So contemplate that for a moment and ask for guidance and ask for assistance, ask for healing, support in order to balance the functioning of the mind and the functioning of the heart, the mental realm and the emotional realm, our thoughts and our feelings. Breathe in your positive intentions of balancing these areas of our lives for this month. And as you exhale, exhale into a place of peace and serenity within yourselves. And when you're ready and in your own time, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. And we're going to get ready to look at our stones of choice for this month's special message. And I dug out some crystals, some bigger crystals that haven't really seen the light of day for a little while. And we kind of gave them a good cleansing and activation energy. And the first stone of choice is aquamarine. And aquamarine is going to be a stone and a crystal that helps us with mental clarity. And it helps us with courage. And it helps us with communication and inspiration. It also assists us with connecting with our inner power or inner strength. This is kind of a turquoisey blue-green stone. Your second stone of choice is called ametrine. And I know it looks like amethyst, but I don't know if you can tell, but as I shift it around, I don't know if the lighting is good enough in here, but it's got some gold and yellow in it because ametrine is a combination of the purple amethyst. I can really see it on the backside here from my perspective. And it's got some of the golden yellow citrine within it, which is why it's called ametrine. So it's a combination of amethyst and citrine. This is going to help us with mental stability, self-confidence, creativity, spiritual growth, and awareness. And then last but not least, we have, it looks like clear quartz, but it's actually apophyllite. Apophyllite looks a lot like clear quartz crystal, but you can see this one has some peachy orange crystals set within it. So apophyllite gives us clarity of thought. All three of these stones deal with the mental realm on some level, with stability and clarity on the mental body level. But this is clarity of thought and intuition. It gives us a connection to the higher realms. And it actually helps, especially this one here with the peachy pink kind of crystals in it, helps with our heart chakra, balancing and opening the heart chakra to this softness, this feminine, this unconditional love energy. So again, we've got the aquamarine, which is going to relate more to the throat chakra. And then we've got the ametrine, which is going to relate both to the crown chakra as well as the solar plexus chakra. And then our last stone of choice is going to be the apophyllite. So the apophyllite is going to relate to the crown chakra, and this one, the heart chakra, as well. And I feel like each one had 2 chakras, but the aquamarine. So we're going to give ear chakras to this one too. So throat chakra and ear chakras to kind of hear divine messages and be able to speak them as well. All right, so let's talk about the numerology energy of the month. I've got so much in the way of card messages coming up, so I'm going to try to move through this a little bit more quickly than usual. Of course, that never really happens, does it? So the numerology vibration of June. June is the 6th month of the year. 2024 is an 8 universal year. If we add 2024, it equals 8. So we take that 8 universal year, we add it to the month of June, which is the number 6, and we get 14. Before we reduce it to a single digit, it's important to know that the number 14 is a karmic number in numerology. So if we look at the reduced digit of the 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. The 5 energy is all about change, redirection, busyness, a lot going on. It actually does rule the mental body, communication, networking, all forms of communication with that number 5 energy. So the number 5 just really feels like there's sometimes an overwhelming amount of information or an overwhelming amount of things going on. So it's hard to stay grounded. There's a lot of anxious, nervous energy with the number 5. So we have to do what we can to stay in a place of groundedness with that energy. And that makes sense because we start out the month with a lot of Gemini energy, which we'll talk about in a minute. And Gemini is mutable air. The air does relate to the mental realm, just like the number 5. And the idea that the Gemini energy is mutable is changeable. Mutable is not grounded energy, which again goes with that number 5 vibration. Now, if we look at karmic number 14, it's a karmic number that deals with balance and moderation, and that makes sense too with the number 5, right? And with all these things going on, all the information coming in, we can feel overwhelmed or anxious. So we have to stay balanced within ourselves, or we have to balance the activities in our lives. We have to use moderation and not go to extremes or not take on too much. And with the karmic number 14, there's, of course, the 1 involved, which is about your sense of self and your independence and you kind of being the director of your own life. But it also has that number 4 energy. And the 4 means to kind of slow down a little bit, be a little bit more patient. The 4 sometimes can bring in challenges, feeling like you're not getting anywhere too fast, or things may seem a little sluggish, and you have to have a lot of patience and determination with that number 4. And so when we look at it all together, because the 14, again, if you add 1 plus 4, it reduces to that 5 energy. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of things we want to do, a lot of things we want to accomplish. We want change, we want movement, whether that be metaphorically or whether that be in reality. Maybe we want to move forward with our job career, maybe we're looking to move or relocate where we live. Maybe we want changes in our finances or changes in our relationships. But that 4 within the 14 says you have to have a little bit more patience. You have to stay grounded with all of this busy energy going on. And you have to move through things step by step. There's some lessons in here. There's some karmic lessons in here with the number 14. And whatever those karmic lessons may be, might be personalized to you and what your astrological chart is all about. But this is where, again, that balance and moderation and patience comes into play for this month. So Gemini, again, all this Gemini energy we're starting the month with wants change, wants movement, wants, we get bored. We want something different. But that 14 says, you know what? Just take a deep breath, do some mindful breathing, and have a little bit of patience. Change is coming, but we have to be patient as we're moving through some of these energies, because maybe change is happening on a spiritual level first. Maybe we're shifting and changing energetically before our lives or our direction is changing and shifting. So that's a little bit about the 14. Now the 14th major arcana, what was I going to say? I don't know. That's like a blooper, right? So the 14th major arcana in the tarot, in this deck, it's called alchemy. Now, the 14th major arcana in the traditional tarot is the temperance card, and that's exactly what karmic number 14 is about. Temperance, balance, patience, and moderation. That's what this card is. Temperance, balance, patience, and moderation. But beyond those traditional meanings of the temperance card, we've got the word alchemy here. And this is the Syrian Starseed Tarot rendition of temperance. So alchemy, it's like taking one energy and transforming it or creating it into something new. It's kind of along the lines of turning lead into gold or water into wine, right? It starts with one substance, but then we're going to alchemize it. We're going to change it and direct it with our own power of thought and emotion and where we want it to go. And as we alchemize or change the energy, it becomes something new. So you could say maybe you're in a situation. I don't know if it's financial, career, job, relationship, whatever situation it's in. And maybe it feels a little challenging, or there's some karmic lessons in there. We're needing to take that energy and transform and alchemize it into something new. Like, how can you see the bigger picture of it all, the higher perspective of it all? How can you take the water and turn it into wine? How can you take the challenge and turn it into a gift? So this is what the alchemy card is asking you to do. And it's almost a little bit like transmutation by fire, right? When we heat something up, it's like ice is a form of water, but it's in solid form. And if we take the fire, the element of fire, and we heat it up, it transforms the ice into water, running water, which is the same energy, but a different way of expressing the energy. So we're taking a situation, we're going to alchemize it. It's the same situation, but we're going to transform it into a different energy, a different way of experiencing that energy. So that's a little bit about the numerology of the month of June. So now let's look at the highlights, astrologically speaking. Again, we start out the month. Now, late in May, like the last week of May, we had Jupiter moving into Gemini. And that's a big deal because Jupiter stays in a sign of the zodiac for a whole year. So we've just came out of Jupiter, planet of expansion, abundance, prosperity, blessings, and opportunities, in grounded, practical, sometimes constricted earth sign Taurus. Now we're moving into Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter's expansion energies of opportunities and blessings and abundance and prosperity is now moving into air sign Gemini, the curious sign that rules our thoughts, our ideas, our perceptions, our communications, learning, teaching, information, and messages of all kinds. So Jupiter's going to expand this Gemini energy for the next year. And as we start out the month of June, we've got the Sun in Gemini, we've got Jupiter in Gemini, we've got Venus in Gemini. And then on the 3rd of June, Mercury goes into Gemini. Did I cover all the Gemini planets? Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. So by the 3rd of June, we've got 4 out of 10 planets in the sign of Gemini, which is again this ungrounded, unfocused, but yet highly curious, highly changeable, mutable energy of the mind. So new ideas, new concepts, new perceptions, all kind of coming in and coming in fast. Maybe there's new things that you want to learn. If you're a teacher on some level, maybe there's new things you want to teach, new communications coming in, all forms of communication, speaking, teaching, writing, blogging, texting, emailing, so, and writing. I mean, if some of you are thinking about writing a book or authoring or publishing a book or a new card deck or a short story or your biography or whatever it is, this is going to be a great next year to focus on that. So again, a lot of this mutable, changeable, highly active mind energy we start out the month with. By the 6th of June, we have a new moon in Gemini. New moons are about new beginnings. Gemini, again, thoughts, perceptions, belief systems, and communication. So there's a new beginning in that mental body realm, a new beginning, new ideas, new ways of looking at something, new ways of perceiving something, new things to learn. Just a lot of new energy that you're curious about on that mental level that comes in with that new moon. Now, on the 8th, we talked about planet shifting signs in the beginning in my introduction of this video. So Mercury moves into Gemini on the 3rd, actually stays in Gemini until June 17th, so not even the full month before it changes signs again. We've got Mars on the 8th of June moving out of fire sign Aries, which was his home sign. Mars is a fiery, action-oriented, passionate warrior planet, and he was in his home sign of Aries, independence, leadership. And now he's going to be slowing down, moving into Earth sign Taurus. He stays there until July 20th. So he's going to be in Taurus for over a month. Now again, Mars wants to go. He's the warrior. But it's going to slow things down a little bit when he moves into Taurus for the next few weeks. And that kind of vibrates to that idea that we're in Karmic Number 14 for the month of June, because again, the 4 part of that 14 says have a little bit of patience, slow down, pay attention to the details, take things step by step. You might have to have a little bit more perseverance or determination, and that would be Mars in Taurus. Now, we're not going to miss any steps with Mars in Taurus. We're going to lay a very solid, grounded foundation for whatever it is we want to accomplish, whatever our goals are. So Mars being in Taurus has its helpful side. It's just that Mars sometimes gets impatient with the timing of things, especially in Earth sign Taurus. Then we're going to jump ahead to the 16th of June. On the 16th of June, we've got Venus, which is the lover counterpart of Mars. Mars rules the divine masculine, Venus rules the divine feminine. And on the 16th, Venus is moving out of Gemini, and she's moving into Cancer. I don't remember if I mentioned that Venus was one of those planets in Gemini at the beginning of the month, but yes, if I didn't, she is. So Venus is moving into Cancer. Venus is about love, relationships, money, finances, personal resources, values, how she values herself, her sense of self-worth. She's moving into Cancer. This is a sign of home and family, emotions and feelings, intuition and empathy. She's going to be in Cancer from the 16th of June until July 11th. So I feel like there's going to be more of a focus on family relationships, especially the female family relationships, because Venus rules female relationships. So mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunts, female cousins. It doesn't mean it has to be all female. But that feminine energy is about love, compassion, nurturing, listening, guiding, counseling. Okay, so we start to transition into Cancer energy, because then on the 17th, the very next day, Mercury, the planet that rules the mental realm and our mind and our thoughts and our perceptions and our communications, is also moving out of Gemini and into Cancer, where he will be until July 2nd. And if that wasn't enough, on the 20th, the Sun is moving into Cancer. So now we're really starting to focus on home and family energies. Now, this could be as simple and innocent as we start to get together with home and family, taking vacations with the family, going to visit the family, taking family trips, right? So we've got Venus, Mercury, and the Sun by the 20th, all in Cancer. This could also, though, have a focus on family challenges or family issues where we need to love one another and listen to one another and help one another, right? That's what Cancer does. Cancer is there as the mother and the nurturer to all. And she's there as the listener and the counselor, right? So she's great at kind of being the therapist, so to speak. So home and family becomes prominent. And then on the 21st, we have a full moon. Now, this full moon is going to be at 1 degree of Capricorn. And full moons are about completion. It's a closing out of a cycle. And Capricorn sometimes has a little bit of a karmic influence to it. You know, Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn is the great teacher of karmic lessons. So we might be closing out a cycle regarding some karma or karmic lessons. On a lighter note, this is a focus on career path, life path, destiny path, your purpose. You know, what is your purpose here? And as this full moon comes to a head, we might have these questions on our mind. What direction am I supposed to be going into as far as my career and my job? Who am I out in the world? What am I supposed to be doing? This could also bring up connections with authority figures. Capricorn happens to be this authority kind of energy. It could also maybe be the father figure, because Capricorn rules the authority parent. So all of these things might be highlighted around that full moon time. And then at the end of the month, and I have to turn my notes over here to see what the date was. The date is the 29th of June. And this is when Saturn, which actually rules Capricorn, is going to be turning to retrograde motion at 19 degrees of Pisces. So that's kind of an odd place for Saturn to be. Saturn, again, goals, career, life purpose, authority, you know, taking charge of your own life. It's practicality. Saturn is grounded manifestation energies. It's also karmic energies, and dealing with like systems, like the patriarchal system or our third dimensional reality on this earth plane. Saturn is a very grounded planet. It brings in lessons. Remember, he's the great teacher of karmic lessons. And as Saturn is slowing down at the 19 degree of Pisces point, it's magnifying the Saturn energies here. And I feel like this whole month, actually, I believe by the time we're starting the month of June, he's already at 19 degrees. So he moves slow enough that he's staying at 19 degrees for like this whole month and into July. You know, as he turns retrograde on the 29th of June, he'll still be at that 19 degree point for a little while. So anybody out there that has sun, moon, or ascendant, or any planets at 19 degrees of Pisces, where Saturn is, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, are all specifically going to be affected by this retrograde, standstill, magnification of energies with Saturn. And one thing we didn't say was, why is Saturn uncomfortable in Pisces? Because Saturn is all very practical and third dimensional, and Pisces is ungrounded and intangible and deals with the spiritual realm. So we're dealing with Saturn, karmic lessons, responsibilities within the spiritual realm, within our spiritual past life experiences, within our own even gifts, talents, and abilities. Saturn's trying to bring those gifts, talents, and abilities into a sense of grounding them within ourselves, which is a good thing. But again, it can also bring up some karmic lessons regarding, I feel like, that are attached to past lives or past life karma, because that's what Pisces rules. Pisces can rule these past lives, other timelines. You know, this is a good time to actually do some past life regression work or some shamanic healing work. jumping, timelines, what you might call quantum jumping, and going to either the past or the future and bringing back from the past or the future certain qualities or gifts, from this other past life energy, if you will. So all these things could be magnified and intensified during this time. And again, Saturn, because Saturn rules third dimensional time and space, as Saturn is slowing down, it might feel like time is slowing down. It might feel like, it either feels like time is at a standstill, or we're able to time warp, basically, which is why quantum jumping might be something to kind of read up about, take a class on, or try to do yourself. Because there's like a time warp thing happening where we can go through this portal of time and, connect to our past and our present and our future all at the same time, kind of thing. All right, so that's a little bit about the astrology, the highlights of astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at all these messages we got from the Syrian Starseed Tarot for the month of June. So it came out 2 cards, 2 cards, 2 cards. That's a lot of cards. So the first card, this is Major Arcana 7. I had to look for a minute. The Chariot card. This is the Chariot in the traditional tarot. It's also called the Chariot in the Syrian Starseed Tarot. The only difference with the imagery here is rather than the Chariot being pulled by 2 horses, which is the traditional tarot card, where one horse is veering off to, the left and the other one's veering off to the right. Now we've got 5 horses in this one. So we've got more horsepower, if you will, pulling us forward. So the Chariot literally is about moving forward. But what do we have to do first? We have to kind of balance the energies. We have to make sure that every part of our beingness, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, is pulling us in the same direction, which is why that karmic number 14, which reduces down to a 5 with all of its busyness and redirection and change, but yet we have to have patience and we have to use moderation and balance as we're moving forward. Same is true with the Chariot. We've got 2 horses pulling one way, 2 horses pulling the other way, but we've got the horse in the middle that's going straight forward. So the horse that's in the middle going straight forward is trying to get these other 4 horses on track. We're trying to get all of our energies on track to move in the same direction. So whether that's our actions reflecting our thoughts, or whether that's looking at our thoughts and trying to make sure we're more grounded and focused rather than vacillating from one thing to another, because in part our thoughts create our reality. And if our thoughts are all over the place, then our forward movement isn't going to go anywhere, because the forward movement is trying to follow what our perceptions and our thoughts and our ideas are. And if those are scattered and all over the place, we can't very well move forward. So it's really getting clear about what direction you want to go, and what it is that you're trying to create. And then once that happens, and this is also about balancing your emotions as well as your mind with the Chariot. So as we balance our emotional bodies and our mental bodies, we're able to then move forward in a timely way, in a divine way, in a way that we're going to be able to, move towards and approach our goals. Now let's look at what card came out with the Chariot. We've got the Master of Orbs. The Master of Orbs is like the King of Swords. And the Suit of Orbs, or the Suit of Swords, is about the mind. Again, all this Gemini energy that we start out the month with, Gemini is our thoughts. However, Gemini, remember, is mutable, changeable, scattered energy. So in order to move forward, we have to be the master of our own thoughts. We have to be the master of our own thoughts. And this king, this master, it's the king, right? This is the King of Swords. He's the king and he's sitting still on his throne. He's in contemplation. He's not running around trying to make heads and tails out of things. He's sitting there trying to gather his thoughts. He's trying to think about what are his perceptions about this reality or that situation or this circumstance. And he's trying to understand it. so that once he masters his thoughts and he collects his thoughts, he's able to move forward again with everybody on track, with all the horses moving in the same direction and being on track and actually being able to move forward in the direction that he is contemplating. So this can be about ideas, this can be about collaboration and networking perhaps with other people, but the king, the master, is usually the leader. So maybe you're the one sending out that email or making that phone call. Maybe you're the one holding that support group, or even kind of somewhat taking charge in a group that you belong to, where you're like, hey, let's do this, let's think about that, what about this idea? So you can kind of be the director or the master of the communications and the ideas and the thoughts that are presenting themselves. And this might help either you personally or the group if you're working in group energy, which would be a great thing to collaborate with others and work in a group. But you're able to then more easily and functionally move forward on your path. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this next set of cards. The first, now we have the Adept of Orbs. So this is another court card, if you will. So we had the Master of Orbs with the Chariot, but now we have the Adept of Orbs. This is like the Knight of Swords. The Knight is a younger energy than the King, more like an adolescent energy, right? Where we can conquer the world, we can do anything, everything is possible. That's the Knight, which is actually a good energy, as long as you don't, fool yourself into something or take on too much, because the Knight, as a younger energy, thinks he can conquer the world and do anything and everything. In the suit of orbs or swords, again, it's about ideas, thoughts, perceptions, perspectives, communications. Now, the interesting thing about this Knight of Swords or Adept of Orbs is that rather than being, this young, haphazard, vibrant, I'm all over the place kind of knight, normally you'd see a knight on a horse in the tarot galloping away. The Knight of Swords would be galloping away with his thoughts, his ideas, not thinking about things, just knee-jerk react thinking. But this knight, this adept, is sitting. He's not only sitting, he's sitting on the ground, he's sitting within some rocks, which is very grounding energy. He's sitting close to a tree, which is very grounding energy. So the nature is grounding him, which is a good thing, because again, with all this Gemini energy that we start the month with, we might feel a little ungrounded. This is kind of directing us or taking us out to nature. This is saying if you get out into nature and stand on the earth barefoot, or sit next to a tree, or sit on some rocks and do some contemplation and some thinking, you're going to be a lot more grounded and focused if you do it out there. Okay? And of course, other ways to do this is working with plants, working with crystals, working with the earth element in some way, shape, or form. But you can see this knight, this adept, is coming up with this new idea, this new vision. He's kind of creating and imagining in his mind this new thing. But it's going to be a little bit more grounded and practical as he's sitting here on the earth. It's more focused this way. It's more realistic this way. It's able to be brought into manifestation better this way. So let's go ahead. I'm just looking at what the picture is. It's actually, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually, he's imagining he's on the horse. This is him being on his horse and galloping away. So he's thinking about it first, like if there's a new direction that you want to go into, a new idea you have. Maybe you're contemplating a new job, or moving, relocating, or starting a new business venture, or a new way to create money. It's like before he actually gets on his horse and starts to gallop forward to take action, he's contemplating it. He's taking his time. He's thinking about the details, which I love because it really, again, goes with that karmic number 14 energy. Now, let's see what card comes out with this. Okay. So this is the Eight of Flames, or the Eight of Wands in the traditional tarot. This is the card that says a lot all of a sudden is going to start happening. This is a lot of things happening all at once, many different directions, energies coming in from all these different directions, or you're sending out energy or ideas or possibilities into different directions to see what kind of takes, to see what path you should follow. So either way, incoming or outgoing energies, quick, fast, maybe scattered, but definitely busy. Now, because it comes with that adept of orbs, and we said first he's thinking and contemplating before he gets on his horse to gallop forward. That's a good thing to do first, because once you get on that horse and start galloping in the new direction or taking action on the new whatever, once you start, things are going to start happening quickly. The Eight of Flames is saying things are going to happen really quickly. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to be successful. You're going to need to take charge and be the leader. The number 8 numerologically can bring in abundance, prosperity, and a lot of opportunities. This is a lot of opportunities. This is like more than one possibility kind of comes in, and then you're left maybe needing to make a decision on what possibility or what opportunity is the best one to follow. But to me, this is definitely about taking charge and empowering yourself. And you're going to feel empowered once you get moving in a particular direction. But first you want to figure out what is the best direction for you. And then the last set of 2 cards, let's see what those are. Okay, so this is Major Arcana 6, the Lovers. And interesting, this, if we think about it in a timely fashion with the energies astrologically of what's occurring this month, by the time we get to these last 2 cards, we're starting to transition into the Cancerian energies of emotions, feelings, home, family, intuition. And that's where the Lovers comes in. If we're actually thinking about relationships or a relationship, we're thinking about needing to bring things back into balance, right? The Lovers with the number 6, the 6th major arcana. The symbol for the number 6, the geometric shape, that's what I was looking for. The geometric shape is the 6-pointed Star of David. We've got an upward pointing triangle intersected with a downward pointing triangle. As above, so below, divine masculine, divine feminine, logic and intuition, all balanced. Career, life direction, balance with home and family and my inner world, balance with my outer world. So there's a lot of balancing going on with the Lovers card. And the Lovers card sometimes is about choices. It's not always just about relationships or a romantic relationship. It's about choices and making the best choice for you. We're presented with choices, and then we have to figure out what is the best direction for me, or what is the best choice for me. And when I look at this, yes, we do have a man and a woman that's pictured up here. And it's pictured in blue. So I want to say throat chakra, communication. You're needing to communicate your truth. Even if it's a hard or challenging truth to communicate, you need to communicate with the other people in your life, whether this be a romantic or family or friendship or even business relationship. We need to have good, clear, open, honest, authentic communication. We've got to bring in the heart chakra energies of love, compassion, forgiveness. We've got to balance in the solar plexus chakra energies of being empowered and taking charge. We've got some orange, we've got some reds. We've almost got all the chakras highlighted here, even a little bit going into the purple up here. The turquoise is kind of in the middle. So we do have all of the chakras. So I want to say balancing all of your chakras is going to be important all month, but even as we go into that second half of the month, for sure, we're needing to balance in the energies and pay attention to our relationships. And they're saying your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your higher self, your relationship with your angels and guides, your relationship with the divine. And then let's see what card goes along with this. This is Major Arcana 13, transition. In the traditional tarot, this is the death card. So it's about a metaphoric death and rebirth. It's about transformation and regeneration. We're transitioning from one energy to another. We're shifting our energies. And so we've got two major arcanas here at the end. This could be about transformation of a relationship, transformation within the family, those family relationships, which is ruled by Cancer, transformation within our relationship with ourselves and our higher soul self. We're moving through this higher portal, okay? And all of us are evolving and changing and being downloaded with new information and activated with new light codes and all this kind of stuff. So here, getting as much rest as possible, because as we're resting, we're still active. Like, I feel like we're doing a lot of healing during our sleep time. We're doing a lot of astral traveling during our sleep time. We're doing going through a lot of activations, dreaming through our sleep time. So there's a huge transformation and change that's occurring. And that 5 energy for the month of June is about change and redirection. And some of that 5 energy is going to be carried into July, but we'll talk about that next month. Now, I always think that I want to try to make these a little shorter, but hence we are not shortened. But now we're to the messages from our angels and guides based on your stone of choice. So again, this is the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck. We'll give it a little shuffle here. And the first stone of choice was the aquamarine. So for those of you that chose the aquamarine, message for aquamarine, guidance for aquamarine. This one's calling my attention. Ooh, Aphrodite. Aphrodite and eternal love. So it does seem like there are relationship matters being highlighted for you. Now, again, it's not necessarily just romantic, but Aphrodite, Venus is what she was called in Roman times. Aphrodite, this is going to be connections with women, connections with the divine feminine, both within you and outside of you, social interactions, relationships, friends, family, romantic, not necessarily so much business, but this is like our interpersonal, emotionally connected relationships. She's got a mirror here, so the mirror is like, we're reflecting to one another, the relationships that we're in. We're reflecting and projecting all the time our wounds, our challenges, our karma, as well as our joy, our gifts, and our talents, and our love, right? So it's all about this idea of reflecting and projecting that's coming into play. I'm trying to see what she's got in her hand here, and I feel like that's a pomegranate fruit. So pomegranate, I don't know exactly what that symbolizes spiritually speaking, but I want to say pomegranate has something to do with like heart chakra awakening, at least in this case. She's got it close to the heart, so I feel like we're awakening the heart chakra, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, nurturing, sensitivity, empathic energy, intuition. So we're needing to be in that state of activating this eternal love within us, realizing that we're all just souls, and when it comes to relationships with other people, that we've probably been with these other souls in other lifetimes, and it's all about just reflecting with that mirror, that unconditional love. But first we have to have the unconditional love for ourselves, which is what I feel like eternal love is all about. It's like to know that you are eternal love. Your soul is connected to the divine, and the divine is all about unconditional love and compassion. So hence your unconditional love and compassion. So getting in touch with your eternal self, or the eternal love within you, is where we need to go for those people that chose the aquamarine. All right, let's take a look at the special message card for those that chose the ametrine. So ametrine people, special message for ametrine people. Nope, this one. Ametrine people, Rhiannon, and inner strength. And interesting, she's got a horse here, right? In that Chariot card, we had 5 horses. So we're wanting to move forward, but first we have to understand the horse. You know, to me, Rhiannon is connecting with the horse, which is going to help her with forward movement. If she got on the back of the horse, she'd be liberated and free and galloping forward. But first she's got to make an emotional connection to where she wants to go when she gets on that horse. So she's getting to gently know the horse, to establish an emotional bond or connection with the horse. So metaphorically, we're establishing an emotional connection or bond with our truth and our direction and where we want to go, where we want that horse to take us. We've got a full moon here in the background, and the full moon in Capricorn is on the 21st of June this month. So there might be something happening in or around the 21st where we're getting to know about our direction. We're staying in this divine feminine place of peace and love and compassion as we connect with our truth and connect with our direction. And then perhaps after the full moon, we'll be releasing and letting go of what we no longer need and being able to get on the back of that horse to ride wild and free into the sunset or into new horizons, wherever you want to go. So right now, develop your inner strength, your inner confidence, your inner courage within yourself, because that's going to help you to figure out your direction once you get on that horse. And then the last stone of choice was the apophyllite. So special message for the apophyllite people. Apophyllite. This one, calling my attention. Ooh, I love Isis. Isis, sacred contracts. Now, sacred contracts that could be with other people in your life. Maybe you have had a soul contract with them, and maybe it's time that that soul contract come to completion or closure, and we're able to release that contract and move on from that contract and move forward into whatever the next phase of life is, or into connecting with new people and new soul contracts. Maybe this is a contract you made with yourself. Maybe this sacred contract is like about your life purpose, your life direction, your path forward, and you made a contract with yourself to do this, that, or the other thing, okay, whatever that is. So connecting maybe via either saying your Akashic records to whatever those sacred contracts are. Maybe getting an Akashic Records reading or doing a meditation and asking to connect with your Akashic Records. I'm sure there's guided meditations on Google where you can connect to your Akashic Records. Now, Isis, I always think of Isis as a balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? She is a goddess, so there's that divine feminine of the mother nurturer energy within her. But she was also strong. She was also take charge. She was also very smart. She was definitely a leader within the realm of the Egyptian culture. Here we've got this indication that her claircognizance is opening wide. She just knows what she needs to do. She knows what direction to go. She knows what the next step is. She's got revelations and downloads and aha moments that are just kind of coming in from that claircognizant psychic gift. She's wearing a headband, as she's often showed wearing a headband. Her third eye also is needing to open. She's got intricate beads in her hair around the ear chakras, so her clairaudience is opening. Throat chakra, channeling, is open. So she's got all the clairs that are being activated here. So whether the sacred contracts are, again, relationship oriented, or whether they're contracts you made with yourself, this is kind of like digging down deeper, connecting in intuitively and figuring out what are these contracts all about and how do I move forward in these relationships, into new relationships, into my divine purpose, into my life path, in order to activate these new sacred contracts and maybe release some of the old ones that are no longer valid for where I'm going next. So I hope you've all enjoyed this very long monthly energy forecast. Thank you for hanging in to the end. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I send you all lots of love and light and much wisdom and blessings and opportunities as we move through this month of June. Namaste, everyone.